Welcome back, and this is still Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN television, and I remain Angela Daku. Well, today's discussion is an interesting one, very interesting one, I must say. We're talking about technology and innovation, exploring opportunities in 2025 for advancement and growth in Nigeria. And definitely with us, we have an enlightened person who is going to talk more about this and discuss this at length with us in the studio today. We have Victor Adetolaju, who is a human development advocate, preacher, and public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and I must tell you, Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, delving into the discourse proper, I'd like to get your view on the state of Nigeria and technology today. Where do you think we are? What can you say about technology in Nigeria?
Okay, yeah, so I've been a technology enthusiast for some time now.
Okay.
I say I've been consulting for virtual reality since 2013. Yeah, so that's about time ago. And I can say that technology, we are just at, we are secondary users. We are not actually producers of technology. We are adopters, like they call it. So but at that rate, we are very good at adoption. You understand? Like, technology, yes, we have come to a consciousness that technology can solve many of our issues.
Yeah.
And then, so we're into adoption. So we adopt a lot. Like, if you are talking about, we rank in the highest, cryptocurrency, keepers. We rank, users.
Yeah.
We have about 110 cell phones. Like, we recognize the need for technology, and we always go for it. And that advancement, like our jump now, we have been able to switch into full CBT, and very soon the O levels are going to be doing CBT. We're talking about the BVAS. Those are the kind of consciousness as a nation that we are coming into, to actually begin to digitize our engagements. And I know organizations that are working on making government digital now. Like the IG Emokwede, they are training to take us from paper, the analog, into the digital space. So, but the development is very slow. That means we are not we're not proactive yet, but we are active. Those are the parts. We are not proactive, we are active. So there are some people that are late bloomers that they don't even know what technology is. But you will compare, in comparison with countries like Estonia. Estonia is fully digital. You could get their citizenship even online. Everything you want to do by a click of a finger, you can do it. You understand? Technology is everything is technology in Estonia. So that is where we want to get to. For now, we can't even access all government information on one website. In fact, so I was talking to one of our development partner, and he was saying that, imagine local government don't have websites. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Even some organizations that are even doing tech, they are okay. Maybe you just gonna check some government website. They are not functional. So what I think the problem is that we have our technology developers. We are not yet conscious of the numbers, the population of Nigeria, like in developing technology. Maybe some people that develop backends or programs, or even banks. Let's say banks is something that everybody uses now, and they just go about first period like this, everything just started shutting down, and made a transfer today. It's not very fast, So they estimate there is an underestimation of. There are some technologies that to be able to, for people to use it, a lot of people to use it, it has to have a database. It has to have a data system that is very. I think we have just about 2 or 3. Last time I checked, about 2 data centers in Africa. There's one in Zimbabwe, and the rest. So we have that. That means the infrastructure level of data, of technology now. We are yet to get to that place where we can build an infrastructure. So it's those infrastructures that can host things like the social media platforms, that will be indigenous. When you talk about Kenya, you're talking about M-Pesa, you're talking about, okay, let's say China, we have their WeChat where you can pay, you can chat, they can do a lot of things because indigenously they are considering their population and they are using it to develop technology.
Yeah.
So if you look at from the government level, more of the things that we're doing, they are imported. Our phones, mostly, we depend on outside
like
other
importation.
countries, importation to feed us our laptops, our tabs, and everything. The majority of it, yes, people are developing. Like our SIM card, there's a woman developing SIM cards in Nigeria, but bulk of our technology, all round, and our innovations, they are still outside the country. And another funny part is that most of the developers outside the country some of them are of a Nigerian origin. When there was a power failure recently, the national grid that collapsed, they brought in some experts, I think, from India. And when they got to the site, they discovered that the guys that they met there were the guys that trained them were in their country. Like the Nigerians that trained them in their country were the ones they felt that these are our bosses, of course. I don't want just those kind of those on those that's a very serious one anyway. But that's it. That means as a collective government, from the government's perspective, we've not seen that technology is a driver of the next frontier. We've not been able to embrace it holistically. Yes, AI is here too. I've been part of conversations on AI collective. There are policy documents now that are backing up the use of AI in Nigeria, but we've not seen that body language, maybe because of the kind of government that we have. We are still having people that are transitioning. There's a transitioning generation, that met the landlines that they were ruling. Maybe it's not easy for them to come back. For somebody like me now, I've not used, maybe like, let's say I'm a religious person. I've not used a physical Bible since 2012. I don't have physical notes.
So you practically use
everything is
everything.
digitized. You understand? Like all my thoughts, I do voice notes or I text or I write in speech to text. Those kind of things. I've been anticipating technology for a very long time. So that it's what make our life easier. And my organization, the Well Generation Limited, is driving technology and innovation adoption for businesses. How AI can help you and those like that. So it's a very, very big value chain. But from the top, we've not been able to understand it and adopt it holistically to be able to create space for it. Thank you.
Thank you for that breakdown. Let's go to this. If we are going to adopt this technology in Nigeria, so far we are already in the new year, what are the strategies that the government could put in place to sustain this?
Okay, I remember that some of our team were summoned for a meeting with the Ondo State government recently, a few months ago, about 2 months ago thereabout, on the digital structure for Nigeria, and it was to get the input of states in that digital policy for Nigeria, right? And I feel that is a very strong step in the right direction, and we have so as at that time we're told that it's just 2 states that has had that kind of conversation. I think Ondo, Osun, or one other state like that. So we've not seen that. Rising up to, like I said, being proactive to it from all the actors, like all the government stakeholders, and saying that we want to phase out this system. But one thing about technology is that technology is coming. It's always coming, and you cannot stop it. You understand? I don't think many young people now have seen a typewriter before. But typewriter was the boss of the all bosses. But it faded away. No matter the conversation, there was a time they were saying job of the future is going to take people's job, it's going to replace it. My dear, that was what they said about horses. They said cars will go very soon. That's one thing about innovation. But the people that actually benefit from it the most are people that quickly embrace it while it's coming. You understand? So Nigeria has found itself in a place that, my dear, I will not lie to you. we have a lot of users, that don't even, we have a lot of people in the M of affairs, let's say leadership, that have not been able to sit down with themselves to actually say how can this thing enhance what we are doing. So there is this aspect of, this is what I know how to do, and this is something new that there's a repulsion to newness sometimes, but you have to overcome that inertia to be able to celebrate and embrace it. So we have public office holders that the government bought them tabs and they refuse to use it. They give it out. What's this? They just gave it out. Yes, we have a digitalized chamber in the National Assembly today that the House of Reps, the National Assembly, they are not using it. They just fell. And if that is a remote action, but it cascades. You understand? So at what time are we going to digitize all our classrooms? At what time are we going to have digital learning centers? If we have public, I'm talking from the head now, that are not really embracing it totally. You understand? And we can't find some information online. We can't interact. We are still, finding it difficult to have engagement at that level. Like some people were saying now, what this present government has been doing is trying to rejig. Like we have the Minister of Digital and Creative Economy, Bosun Jitani, and stuff like that. But the work is enormous. It's not one minister that can harmonize everything. There must be a cooperation. You cannot even begin to talk about the levels that dichotomy. Like I was saying, the actors themselves, the people that want to use it, they will be the end users of it. It will shock you that there are so many ministries and parastatals that today that you cannot mail them and get a response. It's even if you find their mail. In fact, you can. It's not. That is the level of what our generation needs, and the response we need from the public holders. People that are there now. We can't tell everybody to retire, but Jitani, I see him doing a lot of training for the people, civil servants. A lot of people look at what BTO is doing too, trying to digitize registration of the immigration, and a lot of things are like pieces here and there. But in the coming year, if we can have a holistic map of what we want to, where we want technology to take us to, or how we want to use technology, it's going to be a very, very good one. It's going to be a very good one if we can have that kind of roadmap.
Well, you made mention of the fact that Nigeria has one way or the other advanced a little bit, but you said we were advancing, but more like we're advancing, but we're not proactive. Yeah, thank you. We're not proactive. We're not being proactive with our plans. Now, do you think Nigeria can actually handle such advancements at this time, supposing they decide to adopt such approach?
So I say so many times that ideas don't rule the world. Decisions rule the world, and you've mentioned it. They decide. So do we have a country called Ecuador? Ecuador has, they acquired Bitcoin at some point. It's one of their largest investment portfolio today. Bitcoin is an all-time high of $107,000. That's they decided, right? Ecuador decided that we are going to do this, and they created a portfolio. But look at the warfare that the cryptocurrency sector has, guys, are faced in Nigeria. We've had bans, we have that counter bans, counter this and stuff like that. So that means our inaction is not a weakness, it's actually a strength, and it's actually affecting us. So until we let go of that seemingly weakness and play the game of the big one, yes, there's going to be pros and cons. Everything. Okay, what if Bitcoin halved? It's going to affect Ecuador now, but they've said, okay, we're going to keep Bitcoin. I think Tesla is keeping Bitcoin on its balance sheet too. A lot of guys are keeping cryptocurrency, you understand, as a hedge, that you cannot talk down on this thing. What if it goes viral? You understand? That is how advancement is taking advantage of. You understand? Okay, like look at the guys that invested early in Tesla, or guys that invested in Facebook. What's Facebook? Just children using. But some people saw it. The first person that invested in Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, I think I gave them $20 million. That's a lot of gamble. But is he not paying now? The guy has risen so much. You understand what I'm saying? I met somebody a few months ago, and the guy was like, "Do you know me? I have Tesla stocks. I have Tesla." It's a thing of pride today. But look, where was Tesla? Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy at some point before this guy put his last cupboard here and was leaving. Elon Musk put his last cupboard here and was sleeping in his friend's house. But Tesla today, look at where Tesla is. Tesla's stock is bigger than the 5 biggest car companies in the world combined. If you look at the graph, Tesla is taking is taking their lunch. You understand? So what I'm saying is that technology is the way to go. Electric vehicles, all those things, and we have to be proactive. Now we are just talking about CNG. India started using CNG 60 years ago. 60 years ago. I have some friends that came from China, and they were like, you see, they were in one of our amusement park in Nigeria, and they were like, wow, I remember this. This is what we used when we were growing up 30 years ago, and that's what our children are playing with now. Yes, 1965 was when ATM was started being used. 1965. So that means if you want to really actually take, you know what I'm saying, what the ones that are available now, we have to launch into it ASAP. Like there's no time. Tomorrow, do you know how much? I was telling some of my clients how much Apple spends on R&D, research and development. They are spending, they said this year they spent 4% more of what they spent on R&D last year. We're talking about $5 million to just go and be researching the future. They are not even talking about today. This guy Jeff Bezos says that he concludes 3 quarters ahead. So this December that we are concluding now, he's not celebrating it. He's celebrating what growth that will happen to his company in April already. He's already projected. So if you want to, Tesla, Amazon, all of them, they are more profitable than Nigeria as a country. Their revenue is higher than the profit than the whole GDP of Nigeria. So those are you understand what I'm saying? So when you want to follow trend, you have to be proactive. So we have to have a think tank. How much is Nigeria spending on R&D as a whole, like to research the technology of the future? Can I shock you that the education system of Nigeria, I work in the education system sector with my NGO, we are creating an extracurricular structure to be able to enhance the intelligence of students, financial intelligence, social skills that they don't learn in school. It can never be in the curriculum until maybe next 50 years. Our curriculum is almost how many years old? The same course that my father did in school is the same text that they used to teach me that I'm in 21st century. Guess what? Some people are still doing Fortran. Fortran is a 1978 template. You understand? So we are not advancing as we should. Yes, we have those times where we have Agric Research Council, Development Council. They are still researching stone. There are some people who don't even come to work. So that means for us to be serious, all parts of what we call a nation, we have to be moving pari passu. You understand? We have to be active. Everybody has to be thinking the future. I need to the cleaner will be part of part of something big that is coming. The media is talking. Look at how we were talking about COVID-19. For change to happen, all of us must put that technology ahead, because it's a tool. Technology is a tool. It's what you use it for that it will use to. It's not an end in itself. It's a means to an end. So if a bad person takes it, and when you talk about corruption, maybe I'm not speaking for the bad guys, but Nigeria is not in the top list of 10 countries that are corrupt using technology for stealing or stuff like that. Nigeria is not in top 10, so we have not even really scratched it. You understand? We've not scratched it, but we are making impact. Like Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg was in the country recently, like some years back, when Bosu Tijani was in charge of CC Hub. This Jack Dorsey was around, so they recognize that these Nigerians, they're brave. That we are coming out of the struggle, like the Andela and they are producing senior developers. I know many of them. They are in the US. They are everywhere in the world now, and there are a lot of organizations that are doing things like that. And I'm proud that some are in the local environment, like Ondo City too. That I'm part of their development and stuff like that. So we must be drastic about it. You understand? Like you mentioned, decision. There must be a decision to say, how do we benefit from the global trend of technology? It's very important. It's very important.
But what do you think is responsible? What are some of these factors we could hold responsible as not getting as fast as we could towards advancement when it comes to technology? And do you think that this present government actually have plans towards that? Like reading through what they've been doing all through this period?
Yes, like I mentioned, there's a crash plan. You know, like changing the name, the digital economy, like I mentioned, you know, trying to make immigration digital, you know, biometrics, you know, we're talking about CBT and stuff here and there. Now, the problems are enormous. There are many. There are many in the sense that when you look at much of our population, we don't have, you know, like I said, we don't celebrate thinkers. We think they are lazy. Thinkers are the ones that actually move the country. I mean philosophers. People that sit down, think about life. You know, I was telling some of my clients when I was talking to them recently, and I told them that there is a company that the highest paid person there does not do anything, can sit down and think about the company. He sits and face the window, looking at the sun, just thinking, and it's the highest paid. It's paid to think for the future. So that is what Nigeria is lacking. I wanted to share something with you the other time. I studied education, and I know by study that our curriculum was built to be able to send a man to the moon, just like what America did some 5 years back. But if you look at Nigeria's rocket, it's as lean as a toothpick. Do you understand? That's what we've not achieved. So we don't have evaluation. You know, if you can evaluate, where have you been? Like, what has the curriculum that we have cooked, what has it produced? You understand? So Africa has this issue that we are more of art, and that is because that is our curriculum is structured. An average Nigerian student does not like mathematics, and that's the foundation of the head. You understand? So we are in art. That's why we are excelling in sports, song, you know, fashion.
Is there a curriculum issue or cultural issue?
No, what I'm now saying is that yes, we are not the one. We are not the only peculiar people that have this kind of culture. Do you know Rwanda, Kenya? They are becoming smart cities. They are developing smart cities, green economy. Like you can't even see a piece of paper in the floor. They are Africans, of course. You know, they are okay. South Africa is a very unique case anyway. But those are people that have similar cultures, right? Yeah. But they are making decisions. That's the issue of decision I'm talking about. Okay, let me put something to you. What is Nigeria known for in the Committee of Nations? You can easily answer. What's the Nigerian dream? You don't know. That is the job of a philosopher, that we craft a future for the country. And you were talking about this president administration. One administration of 3 years or 4 years cannot do it. It's a roadmap. So you will see the next president of America now following a template and blueprint. This is what we want to be in the year 2050. What will Nigeria be in the year 2030? Do you know? No. We are waiting for election of 2027 to now tell me. So there's no, the elders have not really sat down to actually craft a future. Let me tell you, Malaysia, Singapore got independence with Nigeria at the same time. But Lee Kuan Yew crafted a future for them. It was tough. They chased a lot of people out of job, but they employed and they started paying their police high. Like maybe the least police high any 1 million now. Everybody go calm down. So he crafted the whole system. You know, dealt with corruption by increasing the pay of the civil servant, you know, all those kind of things. But do you know what Singapore is known for today? It's a destination for conferences in the world. You tap Singapore like this, you can come to Singapore and be there fine. It took Singapore from a third world country to a first world country. Can you say I can trace it to one person now? One person that is there today. But I told them, if you shift from this roadmap, I will return in my grave. You know, that kind of thing. Everybody was committed that this is where our leader is taking us. It's not just leadership is not by position. It's not a political position. It's a heart thing. Malaysia is an education destination in the world. Malaysia has university of where they study brain, only brain. A university, like we have Unimed in Ondo now, it's University of Medical Sciences. They have university for a year, specialization. So when you get there, you know, I have an uncle that studied in Malaysia, and he was telling me that guy, he said every raindrop is kept and turned to a dam. People come and visit the dam and pay money. So every there's a circular economy. He said one guy, Popkin, these are legede they are eating in Nigeria. Popkin, somebody canned it. A company gave him $2 million, converts it to a portable product. Will that guy come back to Nigeria? So where are we going? So that's the question, like, which way in Nigeria? It's a technical and professional question. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what do we, like somebody just came out, in 20 Nigeria will start producing his airplane. Where is the airplane? So that's, you know, that kind of sincerity, those are the real things, and that's a generation that must come, that must begin to redefine these things. You know, we have the jackpot syndrome. Why? And you know, our guys live here 2 years, they go and use the same brain. Even taught class in Nigeria is stopping the class in the US, is giving valedictory speech. They are celebrating them outside. But yeah, it's not a cultural thing, it's a leadership thing. You know, and that's why my NGO works with students anyway. You know, we want to raise leaders for the next 10 years that will be conscious, that will be professionally conscious and leadership conscious, entrepreneurship wise. You know, education does not contribute anything to the GPA of Nigeria. They are just collecting money. That's fund everybody, are just putting money there. What does education contribute? How many research in our universities have been published? My friend in Futa studied and did robotic arm for his final year project. Where is it today? The guy is building website now. There's no future. He can't go there. Do you know how many researches of our professors that do not even get to see the light of day? National Health Insurance Scheme was a PhD thesis of one man in the US. Obasanjo called him and said, how can you help me? And he said, if you can implement this thing I did for US, and gave it to National Health Insurance Scheme. So our staffs now, civil servants will not have had health insurance if that man has not done that research. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is a holistic, our education must be producing. In America, the last time we checked, education sector contribute about 2% of their GDP. The Nigerian's education system is not contributing nada. And like that. So we have to engage all sectors and involve everyone.
All right, before we go on, we'll go for a very short break. When we're back, we'll continue with the discussion. And this is the part where we go for Go Start, a business segment on Daybreak Africa that teaches you on one business idea or the other. You could start wherever you find yourself. So go for that, and we'll be right here waiting for the second segment where we'll be continuing with the discussion. So do stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that segment. And well, like I said, we're back on the second segment of our discussion for this episode of Daybreak Africa today, talking about technology and innovation, exploring opportunities in 2025 for advancement and growth in Nigeria. And then we have a guest who is actually speaking on this topic. Well, before we went on for that short break, you were telling us about some of the factors we could hold responsible for the state of Nigeria and technology today. And you've said so much about how other countries have actually advanced the roadmaps they've created over time that has helped them advance to their situation. Now I come again. Do you think that our government can actually create this? Do we have what it takes actually to sustain this? Do it with with so much dedication? You know, we have so many issues in Nigeria today. We talk about economical issues, political issues, corruption, name it, insecurity and the likes. And if we do not get to solve these issues. How do you see us, tackling the issue of advancing the country?
Okay, yeah, so really, if you put selfish interests aside, there's nothing we can do. You see, African communities are very unique because we are very resilient and we are very creative and innovative, actually. You know, I was an example of myself and my friends. I was just fresh out of university then, and in 2014, we floated a project called National Engineering Innovation Prize, 2014, to award innovations in the academic institutions. And we approached the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and it was approved. So you can see that it's not about idea now. There are billions of ideas, decisions to take a step to activate the ideas. That's the issue. So when you talk about innovation, the overall of this thing, you understand? Like I've said, I've talked about design cities.
Yes.
I mean, people that can design cities, templates, and say, that's the frontier, we're going there. People don't move fast, it's gradual. Some people will be against, some people will be supporting, oppose against that. But if you are moving fast enough, nobody can stop you. Do you know how many times Elon Musk flew rockets and the whole thing became dust? But today, Elon Musk is catching a rocket that is more than how many feet tall in the air. A few years ago, all his rockets were exploding and people were laughing at him. But today, NASA cannot do anything without engaging him. So what I'm saying is that, like one of my manufacturing mentors, like I used to call him, Dr. Femi Agikwebi, used to say, we need to pull manufacture. We need to industrialize first. Industrialization needs to take place first. Like, we need to be able to produce. You know, the paint, the pigment for making paint is imported in this country. So we have passed from the issue of casting blame or saying it's impossible to doing something about it. The private sector, actually, the private sector has the solution for this country's solution plethora of issues. The private sector. You see, I usually say, it's my ideology that a country that depends on its political sector will never develop. If you are waiting that it's government that will do everything for you, the job of the government is to create an enabling environment and create policies that will make you, the private sector, thrive. So the government, so that means my call and my clarion call is not to government, or let me tell you, government is already formed. You know what we call formed government. That is, they already have a template, a plan, a blueprint they want to follow. You can't just come and just be advising them on TV or something. There is a party that is advising them. They have essays, all those things. What ideology are those people coming with? You understand? But the private sector has a whole lot. That is, the individuals like you that want to start business tomorrow, people that have started business, that begin to look at the country holistically and say, how does the groundnut and selling influence nation building? Like somebody said that in America, they say that, what can you do for your country, not what can your country do for you? That's a secondary question. So as a part of this country, as a citizen, what are you doing to advance? Is it only talking you are doing? So innovation, what is innovation? Thinking out of the ordinary, but that is too extreme. It's too extreme. So innovation is actually tweaking existing ideas or existing reality to suit present conditions. You understand? Like, okay, they said this is how this spec is. Now I want to make the frame larger. It's an innovation. Like I want to tint my own. Like this is my lens that is photochromic. When I'm in the sun, it turns black. Somebody sat down, thought about it, invented something, created an innovation, developed something. So that is on this surface level. It can be taught in school. Now, the basic that the government can participate in is creating roads. You understand? Creating infrastructures. Let there be lights. You understand? Now release, like, let those basic amenities. That's what the government can do. Individuals cannot build road. Individuals cannot bring, like, yes, they have decentralized electricity now. People can do mini grids and stuff like that. But infrastructure, like, let me use the India template. I'm going to talk about India and Germany. Now, India template is that this village, we don't give you roads. These are things we are expecting from you.
Okay.
We're going to build houses for you, but you're going to be producing this.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. So that place becomes productive. You understand? So you know it's a community anyway, but there is a template of what is desired. Do you know that China doesn't celebrate Christmas, but 70% of everything that we use in the world for celebrating Christmas is from China? They have their own technology, they have their own phone, they have everything by themselves because they are determined. Somebody was killed recently because the person embezzled money. Now let's go to Germany. I like Germany template because Germany has a very solid educational system, and last time we checked, you can't be a student in Germany and not be working, right? So the education system makes you go to school 3 days, weekends, you go to work. So they have the longest span people working. So you started receiving money before you graduate, so you know where you're going to work when you graduate. And Germany really have strike, really, because everything works together. Workers are on the management board, so they instead of having strike, they reduce their cuts, their salary. They understand, oh, the world is going down. So you can see somebody that has been working in a shoe factory for the past 35 years. He started working there when he was in school. He has his life set up. He knows he can predict his income. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a stability because the government allows that. So I get what you're saying concerning culture. I've studied it, and I said that, we are coming from a monarchical system. It's a community system, where when the king wants to pass an information, just tell the chiefs, they go to their streets, they tell them. Nobody, there's no feedback, there's no talking back, But if there's problem, they protest. So we are not used to an engagement government where everybody have equal right, that we are claiming democracy now. Everybody is talking at the same time. This one can share his opinion. We didn't have that, so we learned to follow. We were, the African community is a monarchical system, and then we have families. What your daddy says, you cannot refute it. It's not bad. That was how our fathers and parents led. But in a global context that we find ourselves now, where the world is a global village, we need to begin to strengthen individual voices, and that's what technology comes to do. You can tweet a government, and they will make a decision. You can state an hashtag on Twitter now, and they will listen. You understand what I'm saying? So, but we've not gone back to be able to say, how do we now create what people will be talking about? You understand what I'm saying? That must every you don't have water, you tweet it. You don't have light, you tweet it. It's affecting the overall growth and development. You understand? So people are like, Shebi is what they want, I give them. If I give them light now, like if I build school for them now, they will not like it. Let me build road that they can see. So that's why I mentioned the issue of selfish interest. So there's a selfish interest in everybody that, it's my own first. So we don't have that mindset that want to build a system that will benefit all. Monarchical system now, the king release you do your farm, just give yam to the king. You are able to. So the common hegemony is, if you like your friends, you form a cooperative, you gotta help them to build house and things like that. But I think the only communal thing they do is, okay, the king lead them to go and fight war. Let's go and conquer those people. They are disturbing our land. Those kind of things. But to be able to sit down and create maybe a country that can sit in the Committee of Nations. That now we are not fighting wars. We want to develop ourselves to the best of the capacity that God gives us. Imagine Elon Musk is now thinking, let's be multiplanetary. I'm like, guy, we never explore Earth finish. They're like, let's go to Mars. It's like Mars will be habitable. It's because they're thinking ahead. It's like, if something happens to Earth, how will we survive? That's futuristic. So as an African man, you're the chief. Everybody is serving you. That's all. Handle yourself. An African man is not even talking about we. One of the things that cause infrastructure and innovation is insurance. People that innovate and invent a lot, they break things. So they depend on insurance. Do you understand? But we don't break things. We are like, Come on, let's maintain the Tesla code. You understand? But okay, look at the guy that they said invented the light bulb. Tried 99 times. Who is going to pay for those 99 times? So if you break if you break beaker 2 times in your lab in school, they may expect you. Your daddy and your mommy will pay for it. So we don't, that exploring mind.
It's not there.
It's not there. You know, we're so comfortable. Our weather is good. No hurricane, no nothing, no snow. You know, we're very comfortable. So so that means we need a leader that will do twice of what Lee Kuan Yew has done, to cast a vision. You know, to really say that, like, to cast something that is out of this. Okay, look at America. America literally dictates what everybody does in the world. And they were almost the last to come into world power. America is just how many years old? So maybe 200 and something years old. Britain is far older than that. But some guys came and said, you see, we're going to make this place the land of the free and the brave. And it became, you know, they are spreading democracy everywhere. In fact, they wanted to even bring LGBT and be forcing people everywhere, you know, because they just told themselves they are capable. See, I met a very small child from Ireland, 6 years old. And the boy, the way he interacts with technology, 6 years old, remember? The guy, the way he's interacting with the technology, the things the boy knows, the history the boy knows. My friend that studied computer science, they look like this. Because the guy is already interpreting knowledge, he's already playing with things, he's already exploring and storing information. You know, he's not trying to look for where will I eat, or, you know, they are already settled from that age to begin to explore. Do you understand? Mark Zuckerberg, when did he invent, when did he discover Facebook or wherever? You know, Bill Gates, they started exploring very early because they are part of a system that already built structure for them. You understand? So that means we need to become leaders that think of the future and start doing what we want to see in the future now. That's innovation. Innovation must be sustainable, you know, for it to be impactful. And it might even be beyond you. Tesla is the name of a person. Invented a lot of things. Today is not here, but we are driving Tesla car using his innovation today. The Wright brothers, they invented the plane. You understand? So we need to have a kind of people. Technology has come to advance you. Artificial intelligence, that means it still uses your intelligence. Okay, can AI talk for me? If I don't put a prompt, will it talk? So it's my assistant.
It needs.
Is to carry out what I have in mind. So if I give you something I produce with my AI, it's my thoughts. I'm the one that used the engine that way. Yes, I didn't put words in my mouth. He crafted, I gave him an idea of what I want to say, and he brought it out. AI is the combination of the knowledge of many people. It's not from heaven, it's not from anywhere. It's that oral tradition of, you know, what our fathers have said. So he gathered maybe many people. They fed it with knowledge, existing knowledge in the world. You know, man is like this, so it has ability to access plenty information. It's a large language model, LLM. You understand? So it's an opportunity for us. But people are going, AI, say it will not take our job. Hey, say it will not replace human being. It's you. Enhanced is an enhanced you. You understand? So if you don't know anything, your AI will not know anything. So it's what you know, it is what you have explored. So people are changing the education system to be able to accept these things. But when will our curriculum change? Maybe in the next 20 years again, they start putting AI inside. Even lecturers don't even know what's AI. You understand? But in the US, they are already talking about it in conferences. Oh, this thing is coming, it's already changing. Our students are not going to school. So what can we start teaching them to adjust to this? I remember somebody saying that in the UK, they start telling the children to come later because they discover they are online in the night. One of my friends in the US says she does her lectures, she's a lecturer on TikTok. A student meet her on TikTok, give them assignment, they submit, she teaches them, everybody log into TikTok. But here, we have not even scratched it. It's Pella that our boys are watching there. Nobody is arresting that thing fast. Okay, some country have banned it, you know, that's a reaction. Maybe they have banned it to study it. Some countries are looking at it. In China, you cannot even show pornography or lewd things on your TikTok. Their own TikTok is education. Their children log into TikTok now, they are learning one thing or the other. You know, those are the regulations of people that are thoughtful. You know, so on the overall, we need people that are very, very proactive, you know, and that can think of the future. And I believe this is a generation that we can produce few of those leaders.
All right, thank you very much. You said the other time that technology is coming to Nigeria, is coming back. I should just try to embrace it. Well, let's think of it. When this technology comes, like very vast, everybody is learning it. What about the cybersecurity? How to manage it and how not
that's
to,
the threat.
Yes.
So like I mentioned that technology is neutral. You understand? And it will always have its pros. Everything in life has its pros and cons. You understand? You know, like when you talk about the car now, you can't count how many accidents have happened. With that, we say because accident happen. In fact, the people that even with another car will come carry them come up from the place. Do you understand? So you can't have a blanket like we're talking about Web3 now. You know, we're talking about the dark web, or we're talking about people that are using for internet scam and stuff like that. That's what I said. You see, government should be like the person that look out for people, even what they are not thinking about. And for that to really, really happen, there must be trust. It's trust that form government, though. It's trust that form money. It's trust. You know, if everybody do not believe that this 15 naira, it cannot work. You know, even your language, what you say is trust that forms it. You know, so government is a group of people that think ahead for its populace. You know, you have tied the topic to Nigeria. That's why we're
talking majorly about Nigeria.
So if you bring question on individual, then we can talk about individual benefits and so that. So now that's why I said talk about R&D. Who are the people thinking about the future implications? What would be the implication? Let me tell you, there is a research that happened in the US. They discovered that children started committing suicide a lot because of exposure to the internet. How did they know? They did research, they put out questionnaires, you know, they ask questions. You know, what, okay, teenage pregnancy, is it connected to social media? You know, what has the influence be? You know, private sector can lead it, but it is fun, it's faster when it is the government that is already thinking. You know, we have department that, education department, we're doing a research on the influence of social media on academic performances. So should we ban it or should we use it? Should we create curriculums online? You know, should we make our teaching tech, you know, digital savvy? The government has that job to do that. Yes, if private sector comes in, it can keep growing, but there's a need for inaction and an open space to receive that. You understand? Like I said, submitted a letter in one ministry and more. The years it took for reply, you know, you don't even know where your letter is. Some of the letter is done. You are not supposed to just log in this age. Oh, this letter has moved here. This person has minuted on it. I thank God for some of the agencies. One man was talking about being able to work on a staff. I approve this. I approve that. You know, but it's looking very big. Like wow. But there are multinational companies that they are doing remote jobs. They have staffs all over the world. It's happening already. So I'm saying that on the side of the people, there is low trust, and people in government also have just seen it as their father's house, that is a place to just go and chill, relax, you know, get some money.
Save for the future.
Yeah, there is no future if they don't know. If you are saving for a future that you have not planned for, the best way to prepare for the future is to create it. Nobody will come from anywhere to create a future for you. You will sit down and create. So that is the kind of readiness that we've not seen in our people, you know. So like I said, the people are ready. I've heard a lot of young people say, just give us light, you'll be shocked. Just give us light, just give us roads, you'll be shocked what people are doing. You know, when boats came, people are, who will do it? You see people, lawyers, turn up after work, do boats. Like somebody said, make Nigeria to be per hour. You go shut them down. Do you understand? So that means somewhere there, the young population, you know, Africa has a median age of 17, the youngest continent in the world, and it's an advantage. And we are open to tap into that. You know, yes, people like us young in the next 10, 20 years, we are the one that will be in the government. So that's how I'm sounding that call as a conscious person in this generation and what we are doing, that don't go there and go and create this nonsense that we are right now, that we can't even know the future of Nigeria. You know, there was a time our parents just, our forefathers, our fathers just slept. You know, I can give you a vivid example. In 1970s, students used to have free meals on campus. That's they pay me, food is not easy. You know, that's why I created my NGO anyway. We had in the school where we did our pilot study, students had cafeterias. Guess what they are using the cafeteria for now? Hostels. Because you see, when my fathers were in this university, they were eating without thinking and imagining that one person, somebody like you, in the next 20 years, you are going to multiply to be like 5. You're going to have a child, you're going to get married, right? You're going to have children. Your children will start having children. So they just felt, oh, we're fine. They were graduating, they were giving them PJs, 507. They were getting jobs. They were even getting paid. And nobody, you see what I'm saying? Nobody thought about it that, oh, there will be a time, there will be a population surge. Oh, it has happened in India before. Nobody did that comprehensive study. And they were just eating it alone. Now, full meal with full chicken, reduced to half chicken, to no food, to even the dessert cafeteria where they are eating disappearing. Now we have schools that don't have hostels. That's why my NGO is, we give you food, skill acquisition, we give you service culture, and then we are providing housing for the students. That's what we do. Those are problems that our fathers did not even smell. There have been protests in universities because the cleaners that were attached to their rooms didn't come to pick their clothes. I mean, these are our fathers that are in government now. And they travel out and see that those systems are still existing. And there's no passion inside of them to come home and create a system that must work. You know, there's this thing that you say, this thing will work. Like, look at Amoteku for Southwest now. There was a lot of opposition. And Akeredolu put his feet down and say, we will do this thing. Even when all the governors were dragging their feet, that's his leadership. And say, this thing, we will do it. Do you understand? So we are in that time again, that our population right now is still going to explode. Okay, look at India is boasting of like 1.2 billion people. China too. And we are seeing provisions, young children making things. They can see that industrialization is what can keep their people busy. They created templates. They are working on a very strong currency right now. You know, their leaders are not just sitting there and say, doing photo ops, snapping pictures. They are creating policies and they are standing by it. Right. And even people outside, the private sector is supporting. I'm part of Chinese community that we're talking business and so that. Yes, they are thinking, how do we survive the next generation? Yeah. But we have people here that we just want to dance, play, watch football, do betting.
Well, unfortunately, time is not on our side. But before you go, I'd like you to just maybe in a minute tell us how technology can actually help close the gap between urban and rural, space, and then also how it can also help advance our economic situation in Nigeria.
It's just like we've said all over and over again. Economic situation, GDP, because per capita something. Yeah. Now, it's measured by individuals. How productive is one person? You know, our employment rate reduced to 4% because they recapitalize it, rebase it or something and say, if you work for 1 hour, you are employed. So, it boils down to productivity. You have asked like 4 questions in one. You know, the rural areas, you know, the cocoa farmers are balling right now. 1 ton is 18 million, right? They are buying Jeep, buying everything. So, but do you know that cocoa, as they sell it, it's not the final product? Yes. How many of those factories that means if 1 ton is 18 million, the person at the end that is making it into chocolate with technology will be the top gainer. They will even send the chocolate back to you and you buy it as export. Maybe you are buying back that 1 ton for maybe
40
million 40 million naira. But we are happy now. We are even using the money to import more cars. Abi? So technology will enhance the rural environment to be able to have factories closer. They say 80% of our food produce spoil post-harvest losses. It's because of technology. So because when you talk about technology, it's not just phones. Technology is how to transfer things from solid state to, you know, more finer states, you know, to convert your cassava with mechanized product, you know, mechanical production is part of technology. Technology is how to use external things to make work easier. You know, you are riding on a car, it's a technology, you know. What is happening? Okay, so like I was telling somebody, we were talking about renewable energy, and I was saying that there are remote villages in the UK that there's 24 hours light. You don't even need to leave the place except for something. You know, there is light, you can iron, you can process, you can, you know, you can use machineries. Like we're working with some states now to teach them mechanization, how to use the tractor and stuff like that. You know, you there's no reason for you to go to, okay, like the guys that are boiling cocoa guys now, they're not going to mock we guys where they do where they town. How much will you work for you to get 18 million naira? One bag of 100 kg is 1.3 million, and that's something anybody can easily find in the town. So what will you do in town that you will make 1.3 million at once? Do you understand? So that means when technology is closer to the people, you will even see people leaving the town back to the village. I have a guy somewhere, farmer Samson Ogbole is in Ogun State. He's teaching young people how to farm with technology for free. Trains them for 3 months. You know, like that. He trains like 4 times, maybe 1,000 of them, and he's teaching them hydroponics, how to farm in the air, how to, you know, latest technology in farming. You get what I'm saying? Those guys will go back. Yes, there are some government programs like that we have been part of, that like the green economy, like my boss, we designed that program, and then it will make the young people to see value in the village. You understand? And then when security is tackled with technology, the drones, the CCTV cameras, you understand? When production like that jack up, my dear, economy will bounce. Economy will be sustained. You understand? Because technology make life easier. So it's like we in Africa now, we are just entering our industrial age, when people are already in 4th industrial revolution. We have not even digitized. We can't make our clothes like that. Our textiles are shutting down. You know, factories are shutting down because there is no light. The overhead cost is too much. My pharmaceutical companies, you know, they are not sustainable because the overhead cost, the money for diesel alone can just wreck the whole organization. So if things like that are, so we have cottage industries. Like Ondo now, there's the key vest, there's the industrial hub going on. We have the industrial park, you know, Adetolaju built a flyover for them there because of that. We are developing. It's about 400 acres in the local government there. You know, young people, that it has a space to accommodate about 5,000 young people, SME, entrepreneur up, and then we want to escalate that across the country. So, you know, so it's not going to be, so what is urban? Urban is actually where the civilized, where there is light, where there is water. That's it now. For somebody like me, I migrated because of light. I have friends I'm talking to across time zones. I would not be running after power bank. I can't do that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's quite a disappointment that time is always a constraint. Well, this is where we'll come to an end for this discussion on this episode of Daybreak Africa. But before we say our goodbyes, we'll go to see our sports. After that, we'll say goodbye. Stay tuned and enjoy.